John Slade is one of my old clients when I started to do my business. Could you introduce to us about yourself first?
I'm John Slade.
Yes.
I've worked in the UK real estate market for over 40 years.
And then you were the Chief Executive CEO for the BNP Real Estate. If it's CEO.
Chief Executive.
Chief Executive for that.
I'd been before that. I'd been in agency, and I'd worked for two of the big agencies. I'd worked at CBRE.
Yeah.
CBRE, where I was on the board, and I worked at Cushman's, where I was on the board as well.
Right.
And in both of those businesses, from an advisory point of view, I was heavily involved in bringing money into London.
And then they're heavily involved in business in China as well, right?
In China and Hong Kong.
Why this failures of the investments, why they didn't making any profits or they lost a lot of money due to the culture, due to the business etiquette point of view. Yeah.
To be honest, I was taken on board as a senior advisor by Polly around 2019, 2020. I was advising them on the London market, but they were never really sharing their agenda with me. Now, whether that was
even you are the senior advisor.
Even the senior advisor. It wasn't so much a lack of trust, it was more a fear of the unknown.
How did you deal with that? From vice versa, when you do business transactions in Asia, what did you do? To build the trust and to behave like a local person. What's your story from the other side?
As I took advice from you, I took advice from local people.
Yeah.
And I took advice from local people who were in business.
Yeah.
In fact, I didn't meet a lot of people who were in the real estate business till I started going to see the real estate people. But actually, both in China and in Japan, I actually got together with people who were in the media, like yourself, who helped me to market myself, to brand myself, but helped me very much with the culture. So they actually, and as you show me, when you go into a meeting with Chinese people, particularly in their own country, it's a completely different ball game to having an informal meeting in London or in New York. It's very different. So you have to take that advice and you have to try and not immerse yourself. If you try to immerse yourself, I think you go too far. Yeah. But you have to adapt.
So what do you think the proper way to doing that move forward as a real estate developer?
You need to get a local expert or a big local firm. You need an expert. You need an individual expert who knows the market inside out. Sometimes you can go to a big firm and you don't necessarily get that level of expertise. Yeah. But you need a local expert, probably woven in, if you like, with a bit of Chinese culture and a bit of Asian culture. Yeah. You've got to listen to each other.
Exactly.
And there has to be some cooperation and joint advice. And I just think that there was such a rush to get into the market. Some of these Chinese people had made money so quickly that they didn't realise that they could lose it quickly. So the whole structure of advice, if you like, in the real estate market is a bit counter to that. But particularly, I think the Chinese culture is, no deal, no fee. And that's not a good way to go, because you're not going to get the right advice if you're not going to get paid.
Support,
they should have ongoing support. Yeah. But how do you have to get to know each other. You have to win each other's confidence.
Yeah. So can you share with us a little bit a successful cases from your experience?
For example, Hutchison Lee Ka-shing out of Hong Kong. He's invested in real estate companies, in huge schemes where he's been in for the long term. Yeah. And he's seen it as a long-term investment. He hasn't rushed into the market. He's considered it.
All right.
Lee Ka-shing's property development company, Hutchison, they're doing a big scheme down at Chelsea Power Station. And that's very, very
successful
scheme.
Case.
Very successful scheme.
But why Chelsea works, the power station that works?
Well, they came in when it was risky, but they didn't pay that high a price for it. They didn't come in like Greenland did or R&F did and got, if you like, spoofed into paying a high price because there was so much development going on. They came in very early. Yeah. They worked it up. They worked with the planning authority. They got UK advisors on board. Yeah. And the thing has worked very well.